Genre of Your Life podcast. I am one of your hosts, Doug Jones. With me, as always, is my great co-host, Mr. Joel Kindlen. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, sir. I'm doing good. Glad to be back. Excited for this episode.
Oh, we have a very special episode for you guys today. Returning to the show, actor, content creator, media specialist, the one, the only, Mr. Ray Raymundo. Welcome back, sir.
That's me clapping for myself. Thank you. That was a great, that was a great introduction. God damn, that's crazy.
Oh, please, man.
Oh,
please, you are the man of many talents.
Oh, man, no, thank you for having me back, man. I was like, wow, thank you, Doug.
I got you, man.
No,
please,
you know, Doug, Joel, man, like, no, it's so cool to hear you guys again. No, I'm excited to talk to you guys about what's been going on with me in the last 4 months since we talked in January. Yeah, but yeah, please.
Yeah, man.
How I don't know. How do you want to start it?
No, of course. Well, first off, and as you know, Ray is one of the most talented actors I've ever met in my life. He's done stuff again for our last episode, as you probably heard before. He was in one of the stars of Shotgun Wedding. He was also, I think, it became one of the Amazon's biggest openings of a movie ever. So my boy, congrats to that. That's really big, man. We love hearing that. Also done stuff, short films, amazing short films. He did episodes of 13 Reasons Why. I mean, Ray really is just above and beyond. He's on the rise right now, as we said last episode. But yeah, again, your last time was January. Shotgun Wedding was coming out. We were so happy for you. I remember the next day, we were like, we can't wait. We can't watch the show. For me, having you on last time was having an actual celebrity on the show, and you still are a celebrity in my eyes, because it was
dude,
our first real Hollywood guest.
You're too kind. Nah, I'm on that shit. I'm you know me, Doug. It's literally just I just really am in this industry to because I love acting. You know what I mean? Man. It's just people just when it comes to so that's a good thing. I want to put as on top.
Yeah,
of,
man.
You know, it's it's really interesting that when I meet people that we see either on social media or on TV or movies, that they really are just normal people like us. For example, my co-star that I did a scene with in Shotgun and Josh Duhamel. After I did the scene with them, and I don't know if I mentioned this last time on the last episode, but we flew back together on the flight. Did I tell you that?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were got the cool picture with him. That's on your Instagram. Yeah, I remember that. Was a really cool picture. Yeah, I remember that.
And that's what I mean. He really is just a very talented, down to earth, nice human being, and that's what I really appreciate about him. He knows he's well off in this industry, and that's why he gets casted for these things. But he really is such a normal dude, and he's I'm just a normal dude in Hollywood, just trying to make it big. You know, I was I like that. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, he was once married to a Black Eyed Pea too.
Dude. Yeah, that's Fergie's man right there, man.
Dude, yeah, did I tell you a story how I met him actually by Joel's old house in Chicago? I was a summer camp. Well, sorry, at the time I was a summer camp counselor assistant, a counselor in training. It was a volunteer job. This is I want to say 2010. They were filming Transformers 3 in Chicago, and the camp that I was kind of the volunteer at, going to this kind of beautiful park that by where Joel used to live in Chicago, and we're walking down when a film was being how it is in LA, but when a film was being filmed in Chicago, the entire city kind of turned out for that film, whether it was Dark Knight, Transformers, Public Enemies, anything, and it was really the hype is very real. Divergent, it was very real when a movie is being filmed in Chicago. It's a big city thing, and we're walking down to this park. My brother was there, a bunch of people were there too. I can agree. He was one of the nicest dudes I've ever met in the industry, because of how he was very nice. Again, he was his whole costume on, he had Michael Bay in the background, kind of setting up the shots, whatever. And they were nice enough for let us to have all these campers and these counselors and these volunteers go look by set, but also he took a picture with everyone. It was 100 degrees out. It was so hot. He did this really kind of black SWAT suit, whatever his costume. And he took a picture with everyone, dude. He was giving everyone hugs. He was one of the nicest people in the world. So when I heard the story, when you met him, when you worked with him, I was like, that's so cool that he's still a good dude 10 years later after I met him. So I like hearing good stories about people like that, because you know what? It's it's very refreshing to hear people that like Joel said in the past before, like hearing actors who are actually really nice people are very kind and very generous with their time because it goes a long way. I feel like at the end of the day.
Yeah, and I literally what you just like explained about how you met him and all that stuff. He literally likes to mess with, like, have fun with the crew. Like he'll like joke with them, take photos and stuff, and just like joke around. And like he was just a very open-hearted, like warm, actor on set, just having fun doing. It's kind of like this. It's like if you, Joe, and I, Doug, we just did something on set. It's kind of like buddies just hanging out on set.
Yeah.
So he's that's, and that I can tell you, like he gave me such great advice about being an actor. Like what should I do? He's like, "This is your first gig?" I was like, "Yeah." In LA, he's like, "Congrats, man!" And like
That's awesome.
I'll never forget this moment that like after we wrapped, right, we're on the flight, and he goes, "Hey man, want some M&Ms?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I want some M&Ms." And then the flight attendant, we're in first class, right? He's like, how you gentlemen doing? I was like, "Oh, would you guys like a drink?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll order a drink." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll order a drink too."
Oh hell yeah!
I mean, I'm like,
dude.
"Yeah,
You
I'll
have
share."
to, man.
Right, exactly. I'm like, "Yeah, of course I'm gonna share a drink." And we toasted, like, congrats on your rap. He's like, "Yeah, congrats on our scene. It was great." And yada yada yada. And like, just he was like showing me like, "Hey man, I have this script for my other movie." And he's like, "Yeah, it's pretty great." And I was like, "I'm really excited about it." And he's just his energy just kind of reminds me of like I can resonate with that energy because it's like
Yeah.
he's not stopping. It's an ongoing thing that like he really is like trying to keep making stuff because he loves it. And that's the most important thing about being like a creative in this field, whether you're in the podcast or like a content creator or a filmmaker. That's that. And I think that's what we should talk about and discuss today. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. And I like that because it's it's yeah, like I said, it's very rewarding, refreshing to hear like an actor
Mm-hmm.
like just being generous with their time. I mean, I know there's plenty of actors out there who are very generous with their time, like you, good sir. But it is nice to like know like, hey, when people are just down to earth, again, like you said, the actors are people just like us, and when you connect
Yep.
with them on like a personal level, it's cool because you can say like, oh yeah, they're kind of a normal dude, like he likes getting drinks with someone on the plane, like likes talking about acting. It's just like it's very like again rewarding. But yeah, man, again for our listeners, yes, Ray. When I asked Ray to come back on the show, he had a great idea of like, talk about content creation because you're right. Last time we had you on was 3 months, and a lot of things have kind of changed and stayed the same in the last 3 months. But you're right, and I do think Ray wanted to talk about, hey, the idea of content creation. How right now we live in this age where I mean, for the past 10 years, it's for sure has evolved, but the idea of content creation and the art of this, you used to going from like just like normal actors, and YouTube kind of blew up, and then then Vine blew up, and then Instagram blew up, and then Tumblr blew up,
TikTok.
and all these like TikTok was the biggest in the past 3 or 4 years. These TikTok stars are more now almost more famous than actors or
Yeah.
like directors or producers, which is very like that's the change of the changing of the guard, like the kind of
It
the
is.
way the new wave of talent. And
Yeah.
I so Ray, so the past 3 months, what have you been working on? What's been like your kind of like now like I mean, I mean, I know I work. I don't know you're working on at work, but like, what have you been like, kind of like focusing on, creation wise for you as a content creator?
Yeah. So, you know, being a content creator, like this didn't, I've always been wanting to do this, but I just never had the confidence to pull the trigger until like I was, being supported by my girlfriend. She was saying like, you should do this. You should do this. Like, why don't you try doing like a jumper video every day? Why don't you like create skits and stuff, But then, that later down the line, like from January till now, like I also like my girlfriend met another influencer just by her being like really chill with her, like on like she would just engage with her on her social media, and then she ended up, and this is what I'm trying to tell you, like as an example, like she would just resonate well with her content. She's like, oh my god, I love this thing, like, oh my god, it's great. And then one time, she's like, oh, influencer, her name is Remy, right? She's like, yeah, is anyone open to like like help me out with something or like be an assistant? And I remember my girlfriend was like, yeah, like I'll help out, and she did this photo shoot. And then from that photo shoot till now, like I was able to like kind of get an understanding like how does an influencer be an influencer, like how does a legit content creator be one. And that's where like I started kind of learning more, like, okay, she is just like like me, my girlfriend Mayu, and Remy, like we're just normal people, but she just has her brand, her niche. And I think what I can say trying to be a content creator is like, how does this content relatable to you, hold value to you, and like how's this it's relatable, and like
Hmm.
how does this bring you value if you watch this, right? And for me, I'm an actor, I'm a singer, I'm an editor, like I love cinematography, and so it's just like how do I put myself out there for more exposure too, right? And that's
Yeah.
why I decided to do it, because I'm sure, as you guys know, there's also a writer's strike happening right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Um,
I've been following that. Yeah. Yep.
and so with that happening, there's no auditions, you know?
Oh, you know what? I was gonna ask. So it must have been pausing some of the auditions because of the strike, right?
Correct. So there's no auditions.
Wow.
I mean, the most I've been getting is like voiceover auditions, but I'm not receiving like actual like TV auditions or like film auditions, because like, there's a real strike happening for the writers. Like they're not getting paid fairly, and you know what? The writers write the roles, and we audition for them, and I think they all need to get paid just as equally and fairly. So I'm
Yeah.
all for it, and that's why I've been up to, and I'm in two acting classes right now, and
Yeah.
and so like I'm in an online class, and then now I'm in an in-person acting class, and on top of that, just I'm really in my creative era now, right? Because
Yeah.
and here's where I'm really wanted to just kind of like touch upon, is that I'm not really so much about like, oh, I'm an actor in LA and I'll get an audition, I'll feel good. I've actually found so much more happiness and joy just creating stuff for people. Like
Oh, for sure.
You see on my Instagram, Doug, like I'm like shooting content for like fitness influencers. I literally just shot that thing with Colleen yesterday after the meeting, 30
Yeah. For
minutes.
work. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, Colleen's dope, man. She's you guys don't know who I'm talking about. Colleen is a Doug and I's our coworker, and she's also in the industry as an actress and as a model, and she's been in like three, like no, I'll say 30 music videos. You've seen, like if you go back
Mhm.
on her Instagram, she's like in music videos with Lil Wayne, who's it? No Flex Zone. Who are those artists?
Oh, Ray Raymundo.
Yeah, she's in a music
Yeah,
video
dude.
right there, and like,
She has street cred, man.
yeah, she has street cred, and she's also in videos with Anderson .Paak.
Dude, yeah, I remember you told me that. I was like, no way. I remember I was like, oh, no way, Colleen's in these really cool videos. And also, again, shout out to her. She's like the goat when it comes to like doing captions for stuff
Yeah,
at Paramount, like and Pluto. Like, she really is like the goat when it comes to like caption appliance. And also, again, she's just a really cool person down to earth. And it's cool that like that video you did yesterday on your Instagram was like really professional. It was so sick. I'm like, yo, this is like a Jordan and like Pippen collab right here, man. This is like so dope.
thank
This is
you.
like a Scorsese and like Leo DiCaprio, man. Greta Gerwig, like and Saoirse Ronan kind of collab, man.
Mhm.
It was really cool, man. It was really impressive what you guys pulled off. And yeah, go on his Instagram. It's really cool, guys. He did a great job.
Thank you. And here's what this is why I'm trying to tell you. Like, I created that because she and I are creative people, and like I was like, and I shot all that on my iPhone, man. Like iPhone, that was all on iPhone 14. Like I didn't have like
Yeah,
a nice ass like Sony camera. I mean, I do have like a Canon, but like I'm not. It's just so much easier and quicker to shoot on my phone. And like I knew I'm like been studying lighting and all that stuff. And
hmm,
here's what I'm like really truly up to. I need to create I need to create my own content, like whether it's like on social media, or like writing a film, or like writing like a scene. Like now I'm like shooting scenes with actors in LA ever since I've been doing these classes. And so it's really amazing when you open up the door for yourself. You can invite so many people to collaborate with you now. And ever since I posted on my Instagram saying, hey, message me, all these people started like saying, hey, I've been seeing your content consistently, like I love the way you do, I have this idea, and that brings me more joy and recharges me all the time, and that's what's
oh for
important.
sure.
Just like as a prime example, your podcast, Genre of Life, you know this is literally why I love collaborating with you, because we get to do stuff like this, and this is like both of us enjoying to talk to each other and have people hear like what's actually going on with Doug, Joe, and I.
Yeah, man. Oh, absolutely, Ray. And that's why, like, again, man, you inspire me a lot. I mean, a lot of people, a lot of my creative people in my life inspire me, but you're one of the definitely top three that inspire me because you're just like doing amazing content creation because because you enjoy doing it. Like, oh, this is my job. I'm doing this. I'm going to try to get paid. No, you're doing this because you're trying to build a digital portfolio
Hmm.
for yourself. It's kind of like a digital resume in a way of like, look, I'm doing this, this, and that. And also, man, kudos to you for being proactive during the strike because who knows how long it might be, when it might be over,
Exactly.
what deal might be make, because you never know. And one thing I do want to harp on like you said too was that I saw an interview, I think it was like less than a year ago with Spielberg. I think it was for The Fablemans,
Mm.
and someone asked him like what advice would you give to young creators, young filmmakers? He goes, you right there, like he's talking to the audience. You have one of these. He pulled out a phone. He goes, you can make anything you want in the world right now. You can make any kind of story. You can make any kind of music or
Hmm.
art, whatever. And he was very like, I loved, I'm a big Spielberg fan, but it was very kind of cool seeing him like, you know what? Follow your craft. If you believe in your craft, do it. And he showed the phone again. He goes, you have one of these. I didn't have one of these growing up, but now you do, and you have a lot more access to like I said, different apps or different platforms.
Hmm.
Whether it's TikTok, whatever. And that's the kind of the beauty of like, listen, man, like it's just because you have a fancy super IMAX camera, you have a phone, and like you said, like you're doing an iPhone 4 or 14, where it's just like you've all these like
Uh,
apps and all these kind of like these like tools to your at your fingers, which is very accessible more than ever in this past couple of years, which is it's very like the world is your oyster when it comes to creating stuff on a phone or on a MacBook. You never know.
Yeah, and
um,
that's my point. Okay, go ahead, Joe. I
Yeah,
want to hear.
go ahead, Joe.
sorry to interrupt. This has
No, you're good.
nothing
No, no,
to
no,
do
no.
with what you
I want
guys
to
are
hear you,
talking
man.
about. So I saw Craig, the recording thing, leave and then rejoin. So I just want to make sure that he's still recording.
Oh, I still see him. We're good. Yeah, I still have
He's
it on mine right
still
here.
is he still
Yeah,
recording though?
yeah,
All right, just wanted to check. No,
yeah, we're
I was
good.
letting y'all talk because y'all are on thing. So I'm gonna let y'all get back. There's not much for
No, you're
me
good.
to say this week, on
Mm,
topic of what you guys are talking about. Um,
yeah.
so
No,
yeah, just
but
keep
Joe,
doing your own thing.
no,
Well,
Joe. I mean,
well, how you been,
I have a
man?
question. Yeah, Joe. This is your show too. Come on now. So, Joe, what have you like? What have you noticed? Like, yeah, you know, I both grew up again in Chicago. We have like Vine and Instagram, a lot of like YouTubers. What have you seen like kind of like? What have you seen kind of like the rise of like creation? Have you seen more on YouTube or TikTok? What have you been seeing kind of like the new wave? Do you think it's TikTok over YouTube?
Uh, well, right now it's definitely TikTok that
Hmm.
is taking over. As in, what content is making. And I'm on TikTok a lot, especially at night, because I'm just a fucking night owl. So I'm always up at night, and I'm always fucking scrolling. If I'm not watching movie, TV show, or playing a game, like or on YouTube, I'm on TikTok. And there's a lot of good creators out there, and then there's creators out there that have a lot of fans that I personally think should not have fans, because they're not funny, they're not creative. It's just very,
That's valid.
like
That's valid, man.
the thing about content creation nowadays is that anybody can do it, and it doesn't need to be good. You know what I mean? Like if you can
Right.
find the right audience, you can make yourself something. And
No,
good for
that's
them for
it.
making a hustle, but it's at the same time, it's like, dude, like there's so many people out there that are creating these amazing things off of an app that has like that still does like the 30-second or the minute video, and they're like killing it with like their transitions, the outfits,
Hmm.
the work that they put into it. And then here's a guy that is doing a stupid face, and just because little kids think it's hilarious for some weird reason,
No.
he's doing
Yeah.
better than they are. And so so content creation is an amazing platform, but also the death of creativity at the same time, depending on the fan base.
Yeah. And right there, fan base, right? That it's about actually trying to find your specific audience. And I agree with you on that, Joe. Like there are so many people creating professional, thoughtful, considerate content that just makes you like enjoy it, just the way we enjoy movies, right? But again, I do agree that like there's some people who just have a target audience where they just want mindless scrolling content, right? I'm not, and that's the challenge of trying to be someone as an actor in the industry while trying to be a content creator. Is like, how can I actually make content that's actually like wow, you made that, instead of just like trying to post something that's like that was all right. You know what I mean? That shit was mid, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
like what was the purpose of this? Like dang, this really is getting that much attention over that shit, right? I get it. But I again, like, to each of their own, and I think everyone has like likes specific things, but I think I want to speak for myself on this end. I do want a great audience who like actually appreciates the way we appreciate film. You know what I mean? Like the way we
Right.
appreciate
Yeah.
like, oh, I love this movie, and this like, you know how you and I really bonded over like The Last of Us. Like, I loved the whole thing.
Yeah.
I loved it
Me too.
through and through. I think they did it so well, and the way they developed the characters, like we're those audience members who actually understand the game and the show, and that HBO, Neil Druckmann and Craig, the showrunner, they killed it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. The thing about what's so great about social media is that with social media and content creation, there's such a giant mixture of what you can get, because you can get people who really understand and who really enjoy it, or you can get, people who know nothing about what you guys can be talking about, what you're showing, and still like find it interesting, or the ones that want to learn more about it, that have like no experience in it, or just interested in learning, because I'm one of those people. I have a lot of friends that just really love to learn. And then you have people who generally just want to be horrible human beings and hate anything you do. So
Yeah.
with content creation, it's a very giant mixing bowl of what you'll get as a content creator. But with like people like, I'm a giant like nerd, and I like to watch like gaming YouTubers. So like some of my favorite people are like Markiplier and
Yeah.
stuff like that. The way they handle the mixing pod people is just really well, and other people it's not. And it's honestly like it took a giant hit to their, mental health and mental well-being and emotional health as well. So, I think content creation can help society, but at the same time, it's sort of
it's a double-edged sword,
hurting.
right?
Yeah, it's hurting society with how people are, less care for other people's well-being, with like certain content creators who have like a really nice car, and just to make a video or whatever, they'll do really messed up things.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
the Paul brothers, or the ones that drive really fast because they think it's funny to like show people like, hey, my car can jump this high off of this hill, and just like really like hurt someone, destroy someone's property, stuff like that, where it's like that's getting a lot of the traction.
Yeah, and that's clickbait view shit. But like, I want to go back on like, I'm very much a fan of Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie. But like, I feel like PewDiePie has taken the most hits out of everyone on YouTube.
Very much so, yes.
Like, it's like I don't know. I used to be a huge PewDiePie fan. I'm not saying like I don't like him, but like I just don't know where he lands in his whole gaming thing. He does a lot of different stuff now. You know what I mean? Yeah. I get what you're trying to say with all that stuff. It is a double-edged sword, and that's why there are people who are like doing stuff just to like raise hell and shit and get views.
So I think it's very important for people like you like to be able to share what you love and that passion, and like for more people to see it and to also share it with other people, because you're not only sharing your passion, you're showing people like, hey, and the way you talk to, especially like Markiplier and like Jacksepticeye, is that he's like, all right, like this is who I am, and you guys are interested, like, but it's like you guys can do this too, like, you guys can have passions in your lives and everything like that, and like just show positivity and again, creativity and stuff like that, and spread that widely through social media, your own content, and and take that real big view away from those people that don't care,
Mhm.
those bad, people to you, and just be able to, keep pushing them forward to, being good. And also, watching you, and seeing the things that you've done with, Shock and Wang,
Mhm.
13 Reasons and stuff like that. It's like, you're showing people that there are a lot of good people who are doing what they love and are continuously like showing how much that they care, and it's like you're killing it, because it's like
Thank you.
so cool to see it, and that encourages a lot of other people, I feel like, or it should.
Thank you. Yeah.
And with Hollywood nowadays, it's there's a lot of bad actors, not bad actors,
Yeah,
but a
but
lot of bad people who are actors and who have
Mhm.
taken the spotlight away from a lot of good actors.
Yeah.
Like when I don't like talking about this because I don't care about it anymore, but like when Will Smith went up and slapped Chris Rock,
Right.
you know what I mean? Someone, I think it was Questlove or
Yeah.
someone
And
was like
it took away
that took,
away from Questlove's actual award winning his document for the
Yeah.
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 And a lot of other people's awards, because that overshadowed everything. It's
Yeah.
just such a simple act of violence, because people weren't expecting it. It's on live TV and weren't expecting it from those people, that overshadowed everyone else's achievement.
Mhm.
And just like, damn, and, so for even to, in the future, when they're talking about past award shows, they're going to bring that up
Mhm.
instead of what the people who made great achievements did. You know what I mean?
Yep. And like just speaking on of like the whole like right, bad people bad acting like who don't deserve a spotlight. That's why like I think I want to transition into the show Beef, right? Doug and I
Oh
wanted to
yeah.
talk about Beef, but like Beef was like fucking amazing. But like you guys heard what David Cho was saying and stuff, right?
I heard some of the controversy about it. Like
No, I haven't heard.
it was his past,
Yeah.
right? What he did. I don't want to
Yeah, well,
misquote it.
no, I'm not gonna misquote it. He literally said that like he went to a masseuse parlor and that he was inappropriately touching them and that got him aroused. And he said he's like, and then one of the podcast person said like, oh, you're basically telling me that like you doing that, quote like the word rapist bullshit. Like he's like, you're basically telling me that in order for you to like get aroused, you have to like inappropriately touch someone. He's like, basically. And that shit resurfaced, and he did put out an apology, and this is also you should put a trigger warning for about sexual assault if anyone's listening to this, because that shit is real, and we should be really mindful of like of that people do that in Hollywood, and that's unfortunate. But he did say that stuff like that, and that again took away spotlight from an actual great show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's unfortunately because when a big project's doing well or good or someone's kind of blowing up, it takes one thing. It takes one thing. It takes one thing, no matter how big or how small, just to like take away from everyone else. And a good example is Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller was doing some really fucked up things, the past couple of years, and it's unfortunate because people were like, "Oh, I won't see the Flash anymore." It's like, I get your point. I understand. Again, you don't want to support them as a person, as an actor. At the same time, there are a lot of people that have put their blood, sweat, and tears. Like we have a first Supergirl. We have Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman. We have Andy Muschietti, who's a great filmmaker. So many people, blood, sweat, and tears put in this project. So I understand at the same time, like you're trying to make a stand against someone, but you're right, Ray. It takes away from all the other hard work that Ali Wong and Steven Yeun and the brother, guy plays the brother, like
Young,
the guy played the husband, like, all the hard work they put in to make the show, it takes away, and it's fortunate, but another thing too is that I remember like seeing it's because again it's a very it's a very area of like, hey, you whatever you have out on this in the world, it's out there for good, no matter what, it's out there for good. Someone can bring it up, and gotta be careful with your words for sure.
Yeah.
And kind of like Kevin Hart's situation. Remember, he
Right.
apologized for the tweets.
Yep.
And like, no, you got to apologize again. And I got why people were. I got why like he didn't want to apologize. Because, I already apologized already. Why am I apologize again?
Yeah.
And then he apologized to like everyone else again on every like talk show he went on.
Yeah.
But you're right. It takes away from the bigger picture. Like you said, Joe, when Will smacked Chris, it took away from Questlove, took away from the rest of the night because everyone's talking about, oh, Will Smith smack Chris Rock. No one's talking about the first Deaf actor won best supporting actor, or Armando Bose won best supporting actress for West Side Story, or this isn't that. You're right. It takes away. I do feel like it's unfortunate. I think in our industry, especially, it's like controversy always sells.
And I know,
like controversy always sells.
And here we go. I'm gonna jump off of this. Controversy always sells. The casting for Lilo and Stitch.
Mm-hmm.
The first guy, he got casted, and I was like, okay, cool, right? But like, apparently, all these Disney vloggers found he had a playlist on his Spotify with like racial slurs and shit. I was like, that's wild, man. Yikes, man.
You got, yeah, that's when we saw that I was like, oof, and I was like, this is Ray. I was like, this is Ray's chance. Ray wanted this role. This is Ray's chance again. I was like, this is it, boys.
This isn't about that.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
but like,
I know what you mean though.
But to preface why I'm bringing this up, so I actually had now that the cast is out, right? I actually auditioned for David back in November, and congratulations to the recast. And I think, I want to specify, like, I remember when I pitched myself to Disney and stuff, I said, hey, I do Tahitian, I this is what I look like, and I showed photos of why I look like David, and I felt like I really looked like him. But I also specified I'm Filipino American. I'm not, I'm, what I mean? And I think the reason I'm happy that they did cast people who are within in people in Hawaii, right? I respect that, and I think for me as a Filipino American actor, I would want true representation, and that's why they went with that other actor. You know what I mean? Because
for sure,
there is a little drama with the casting now, fan wise. Out of the Hawaiian community, is they're calling it colorism because they're not a darker skin tone, and David and Nani are both darker, and so a lot of people, especially Hawaiian, aren't happy with it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I was like, as long as they're Hawaiian, that's cool. But I can understand like people's like, this. I don't want to say dislike, but not happy view of. And that's not towards the actors themselves,
right?
I mean, I think that's more like the upset is more towards production. I mean?
And that right there is like where we're saying like this controversy will give more press to the actual live action Lilo and Stitch, and it's not really about the movie. It's about, hey, there's this thing, and look, this shit worked too for Shotgun Wedding. They fucking recasted Armie Hammer.
Dude,
that's understandable,
bro.
That's understandable. That's understandable.
He's still selling timeshares in the Cayman Islands right now, man.
His movie is still coming. He has a new movie coming out with fuck. How can I suck at names. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
I know his fucking name.
The Gal Gadot
Army one. No, what?
That one, he had a movie come out last year, like a murder mystery one, and no one saw that movie. No,
there's a new movie where he played Mysterio in Spider-Man before No Way Home.
He wasn't in that one anymore.
What? No, not Armie Hammer.
No, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal. He's doing a movie directed by Armie Hammer that's coming out, where he plays like a soldier that had like an Iraqi like guide, and they got him and his platoon got ambushed, and the Iraqi guide saved him and
Oh
then
yeah, yeah,
got
yeah. I
him
did see
out
that
of
trailer.
Iraq safely,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then he's going back into Iraq to save that guy because now he's wanted for helping American
Yes,
soldier.
that was supposed to be him.
Uh,
That's an army.
sorry to correct you. No, it was Guy Ritchie did that one, not Army Hammer.
Guy Ritchie, Army Hammer. I swore I saw Army
Oh.
Hammer.
No, Guy Ritchie did it. Guy Ritchie, maybe Army Hammer was supposed to be in that movie originally, but Guy Ritchie directed it.
I swore I
Yeah.
saw. I thought I saw
No, it's
it presented
Guy
by
Ritchie.
Army Hammer. Okay.
Yeah.
No, Guy Ritchie did Gentleman and Lock, Stock and Snatch. No, that was Guy Ritchie movie that was in it. Yeah.
Oh, needless to say, Doug and Joe, like that's the whole topic about like content creating and like Hollywood and like spotlight and just kind of like controversies. It's like this industry that like we're all in, as you know, you guys are writers, you guys are producers, you guys are like, and I'm an actor, like I want to write stuff. Like at the end of the day, why I wanted to come here on the podcast to talk to you guys about is like I really want to encourage you guys to like, the keyword is to try and always keep trying. I talked to you about it, Doug. Like just we have to keep on creating, regardless of what people will tell you. Like, oh, like you said, like, oh, you're not legit enough. Like, we are legit. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
No, I appreciate that, Ray. And they were a big help. I mean, I don't want. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's. I was. I mean, yeah. I've been. It's a part of the business, man. And I definitely feel like during COVID, especially. I mean, even today, we're 2023. It's like when you're told no a lot, it's definitely like it definitely hurts you a little bit. Where like, you know what, I thought I had this. We went up for audition, or you go for a job, or oh, great interview, man. I thought I did great, or I had this great audition, I killed it, or you have something you're proud of, and then someone kind of poops all over you, and you're like, well, that kind of it hurts. And no matter how you spin it whatsoever, it still hurts because you know what, you did put your heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
And when someone told me this podcast was amateur, this wasn't a real podcast, it sucked. I was like, it kind of sucks. You know what? I'll work harder now even more because I wish Nick was here because Nick could explain, because when Nick had different jobs that he was working his ass off, and he just said, you know what, I'm gonna stop busting my ass for this because you know what, I'll make my own film. And like you mentioned last 2 episodes, I think that Nick made a short film for no money in his house and won a bunch of independent awards, which is great. Yeah. And to your point, Ray, you're doing always great content that's being recognized by Paramount or other brands, fitness influencers, everything, man. And it's the recognition of not right away, but it's a hard work that is paying off slowly and surely for sure.
And what I want to really specify on like the whole creating and like trying is like, it's really to be able to do this so often is because we have to love what we do, and that's why. And you don't know who the people you'll meet, who you end up like working with, like all the people that I met at my gym, my local gym, like they're all branded athletes, and I'm like, and they and it's surprising that they don't have content like this on their page. I'm like, they're branded, but how can people know that you actually work out in this clothing and look fucking cool in it? You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. So, yeah, man.
And they know I'm an actor, and they see my page like, oh wow, what, you're in 13 Reasons? Like we have that conversation. I'm like, yeah, and like they're like, wow, that's so cool. And and most conversations like that, I'm just like, yeah, no, I want to encourage you. I want you to see how I see you in my cinematic eye. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
dude. Go ahead.
No, I think you have a good eye for that, man. Like I said, you can find Ray. I mean, before you go, I'll let you plug yourself. But you're right, Ray. It definitely, like, dude, you have a good eye for a lot of things, and that's why, like, I love collaborating with you, collaborating with people, just because of like, I love hearing like, I have this kind of vision. And that's the beauty of like, of creation. It's just like, you can collaborate with people at different styles or different techniques or different backgrounds, and that's like, you know what, it's good. It has to be coming fresh. And to your point earlier, Ray, I agree. Was that, it's. You can tell when someone loves what they're doing, or like they're fake or they're real. And I know you are one of the most real people I've ever met in my life.
Likewise, man.
Especially likewise. That because you, I appreciate that too. And I can tell because you really have a love for your craft. And the past couple of months, I'd unfollow people that like I follow who are in the industry, or people that I've listened to a podcast. I'm like, this is so fake. Like, this feels so phony. This feels like you're here for the numbers. You're here for the numbers. You're here to like say, oh, I'm right, you're wrong. I just can't stand people like that whatsoever. Where I'm like, why am I following you then? Why am I gonna give you the listen of the subscriber the subscribe? Because I'm like, I hear you just rant about like, oh, I'm right, you're wrong. And I always had a problem with people with big egos. That to me is like, if you have a big ego, I just can't vibe with you. I can't talk to you because we're gonna get nowhere basically. And it's not fun to be around people or listen to people who, again, if you listen to someone on like a TED talk or a podcast or an interview, you can tell right away like this person's full of themselves, or like, oh yeah, I'm doing this, like I'm right, you're wrong. And like I said, I don't want to follow so many podcasts, man, this past couple of months, because I'm like,
Yeah.
I just can't listen to them anymore, because it's like it's very daunting, because I'm like, I don't want to listen to someone talk down to people
Yeah.
or talk down to audiences. And I love seeing your stuff because you're very inspiring. You're very like, hey, let's talk about this, talk about that. You have a very mix of content. You have a mix of like a catalog of stuff, and that's very refreshing to see. But also B, it's very rewarding because you are trying to give new content as well as giving people heartfelt, relatable stuff. Like you said earlier, it's all about being relatable.
Right.
Relatable wins, and it goes a long way, I feel.
Thank you. No, Doug, no, thank you. And I want to like bring up 2 points. It's like, you're right. Like, it's okay to mute and unfollow and restrict people you don't want to see, because it really
Absolutely.
is, at the end of the day, like, why am I looking at this, and how is this actually, affecting? And I say this on my Instagram, like about like your mental health, like the stuff that you ingest, that you expose yourself to, the stuff that you read, the stuff that you watch, it all plays in your subconscious. And the second thing was like, yeah, like you can tell when people are trying to just say that like I'm doing this, and they're not really actually interacting genuinely, like as like I'm a firm believer in energy, right? And like when like people are looking out for your best interest, or actually asking about like, how are you, like, and how are you back? Not just, I'm gonna just talk about myself and then I feel better, and that's it.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, it's no one should ever talk to someone. I mean, reassurance is a very big thing. I do believe in that. But at the same time, to your point, Ray, you don't want to say like, "Oh, how's your day going?" and then you talk about yourself for like an hour and a half, because you're just then you're not really caring about the other person's feeling.
Right.
And why'd you message me? Why'd you talk to me in the first place? Because you just want to hear yourself talk.
Yeah.
And I think it's a very big thing our industry faces right now. People want to hear themselves talk. I mean, that's the whole country, if you ask me. The whole world, if you ask me. People love hearing themselves talk.
And that's the thing on Instagram and like TikTok. It's like, that's why some people's stuff like doesn't pop off, because they're just only talking about like, why my life is great, and I'm in a better position.
Yeah.
That's why shit like that flops. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's just me being real. Like, and I don't ever think anyone's content is like whack as shit. I'm just saying, like, if you think that's good, then that's good for you, but that doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? And this.
Don't mix it in.
And
don't mix it in.
And the stuff that I want to provide for people is like, I really do want to provide content that like is relatable, entertaining, and like fun to watch. Like, that's why like I'm sitting on like a fuckload of content, and I have to pace myself. I can't just throw it out. Like, it's all about pacing, and like, going day by day with like trying to like build my brand as not just the actor, just the filmmaker, the content creator. Like, that's why I'm saying like there's so many avenues you can try, and that's why I'm trying to say like you should just try and do it and not worry about what people are saying or thinking, because the last thing you want is to like question like, why didn't I do it? Why was I waiting the whole time, right? And for the last 4 or 5 years, I kept on asking myself like, why have I done it? And this last month, I've been able to like, boost up my engagement by like legit 300%, because like when you do hashtags, right? You put hashtags on the most the topic you're talking about, and that's how you find your specific audience. Like, that's why I'm trying to talk to you, like, Joe. Like, when you put the hashtags and all the people who follow filmmaker or cinematography, those people like us or podcasts, they'll find us and we'll find them. And I think it's great how they do that.
Dude, absolutely. And it's what I think what I mentioned about Spielberg. He said that, there's a lot of platforms that people didn't have back then. Things are always changing, always evolving. And you're right, Ray. If you say one hashtag, you never know who might see it too. And that's the thing of like, and you're, again, as an actor, as in entertainment, it's, you never know who might listen to this podcast, or who might see your TikTok, or might see your YouTube video.
No, dead ass.
It's a very cliche, La La Land kind of thing. It's like, it takes that one person or two people to be like, you know what, this has potential. Let's pursue this. And I'm not saying happen overnight. Obviously, we're still working. We're also working at it right now. We're still trying to work on our craft, and that's the art of like, hey, you know what? For some people, yes, it happens overnight, but it's to me. I rather spend the time working and also like building something I'm proud of than having hope overnight and be like, yep, I'm overnight sensation. Look at me, like
Yes.
I'm the shit now. I think it's very important to build your brand and build yourself because you know what? After a while, you get burned out,
I
man.
do.
There's a lot of actors who haven't been seen anymore because they were one hit wonder or whatever, and look what happens now. They weren't relevant anymore because they kind of burned out pretty quickly.
And that's my point. Like you got to be doing this because you actually love it, not because you want to like get some sort of like
Exactly.
attention because you've made it like no. This. That's why what I do as an actor. I could do this for the rest of my life. You know,
Yeah.
there's no goalpost at the end. It's I can sing, I can act, and I could do as much like cinematography at the end of the day, and it's really about just always doing as opposed to like thinking am I going to do it? You know and that's I'm gonna tell you it's a hard step. That's one of the hardest steps to do that. And yeah, I mean that's all I have to say about like where I'm at with like content creating, like just getting to know where you guys are at. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's the beauty. It's like I said. It's believing in yourself, believing in your craft, showing your talent. And like I said, it's when you believe in yourself, it shows. When you don't believe in yourself, it also shows. And it kind of there's really so much. Like if you're in it for the free gift bag, I always say it's why you get a free gift bag, cool, but what do you have to what do you have to show for yourself if your life ended tomorrow or a year from now? What would you be on your that really cliche saying? What would it be on your biography? What would be on your tombstone? What would it be on your like?
Yeah.
Oh, he lived a good life. This, and that. It's you got to take risks. You got to take chances, and it's very scary. Again, people who live in LA, again, people live in New York, whatever, or anywhere. Honestly, taking risks is a very scary thing, and I feel like people are too afraid to take that chance
Yeah.
and they settle. It's unfortunate because a lot of people I think who couldn't have settled could have done big things. I get it. It's everyone has a different background.
Yep. Everyone has different
background, whether
lives.
it's exactly right. It's all different lives. It's different like comfortability is a big thing too. Being comfortable enough to do it. But I do feel like if you really believe in yourself, you truly believe in what you want to do. It can open so many doors. It can really pave a way for you.
Yeah.
And it maybe even not happen a year or a year from now or 2 years from now, but you know what? I think it will happen. I think sticking with that. I remember hearing that from like networking events in LA, film school, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like stick with it because you never know where it might take you, and if it makes you happy, that's all that matters really. Who cares if you made no money off of it or make a little bit of money off of it? Who cares if it makes you happy? Stick with it because it's a huge part of happiness. Your happiness is do what makes you happy, and you'll never work a day basically.
Yeah, and to like close my last thought on this, Doug, you doing this podcast, I remember when you told me like you're gonna do this, like this is again a prime example of like we're building and this is it. This is proof that you are doing it and that like I love hearing you like talk about. I love seeing your content on like when you talk about your whole. You leave the theater and you have your first review. You know what I mean? You're telling me about like how these A24 people are like getting at you. I'm like, dang, you're finding you're finding the A24 people who are like, you didn't understand that movie. And it's funny because now you can like you can have a conversation with them, right? So that's again to Joe's point. It's about finding your audience and finding your brand and who you are and like who you want to talk to. So that was the last thing I wanted to say because
all right, my friend. Ben, I thank you so much for coming on the show, man. It was a pleasure you having me on. And before you go, where can they find you?
Yes, you can find me on my Instagram. It's Ray.Raymundo. It's Ray.Raymundo. Yeah, feel free to check out my stuff. Anyone's out there who wants to do content, like doesn't have to be specific, but like anything. It could be anything. Like if you want to do like a food content or like lifestyle, like I just would love to see you. I want to nurture your idea of what you thought in your head and how I can help you make it vision. It's been really an awesome experience doing that for people at the gym and people like Colleen and like my other actors who I'm going to do scenes with, you know what I mean? And I have all the lighting stuff and it's just really cool. I have all the audio like to like do like scenes to like for the reels. So that's where I would love to work with you guys. And that's why I love working with you too, Doug.
No, guys, he's the real deal. Like I saw his equipment. He's not playing around. If you want some grade A1 quality, Ray's your guy. Like I swear, I will vouch for this man until the day I die. He has he has some amazing content as a portfolio, but also his equipment, like
Yeah.
none of that boo boo Radio Shack shit.
No.
No, he actually has like legitimate like grade A
And
quality
here,
stuff, man, and it shows in his
I
work,
need to do
man.
a shout out. This is shout out to my girlfriend Mayu for getting me a Rode mic for my birthday. She knew that I'm like on my content creation shit. She's like, and honestly, that mic is so fucking good that honestly, you need it. You need it to like if you want to do like cinematography, like right then and there. It's so useful. Then I have like my soft boxes, I have my C stands, I have like my tripod, like my eight. It's to the point where it's like if I'm gonna do this right, I'm just gonna jump in and commit to it. I can't half-ass this shit. You know?
Yeah, man. You gotta invest. I mean, yes, if you have the money for it, invest,
Yeah.
but also you definitely invested in your quality. Again, 'cause you know why? It's no one wants to hear
Yeah.
no one wants to hear kind of like that staticky, like 2004 flip phone sidekick thing.
You
And
said
like
Razor,
I said,
mobile
man,
Razor, T-Mobile.
Razor, yeah,
Yeah.
T-Mobile Max. Look at man, I've seen, dude. You showed me at work. I've seen like on Zoom. I've seen what you have working with, guys. I'm telling you, if you want some really amazing content, raise your guy. Like again, like I said, his quality is amazing, but also his equipment is so professional. And it's amazing, man. So again, man, please hit him up. He's really the guy, the go-to guy for all that kind of stuff.
Thank you so much, man. And I really appreciate your guys' time and to coming on tonight and just having a cool session to talk about what we all talk about, which is our lives.
You are always welcome here, my friend, and I'll see you this weekend, my boy.
Nah, I'm about to see you in like a few hours. Shit, man. I'm hella excited to see
I'll
you.
see you in 48 hours, my guy.
No, hold on,
Can't wait to
before
meet
we
you
go,
finally.
this is the first time I'm actually meeting Doug in person. This is how you know how true
dude.
friendships and like stuff like this. We found each other through work. Now we're gonna finally see each other in person. It's gonna be crazy. I'm gonna document the shit out of it. Take photos with you and Z. It's amazing.
I can't wait. After 2 years of working with Ray, I'm finally meeting this guy, and I can't wait to meet him. I can't wait to meet you, bro. You have no idea.
All right, have a good one, man.
All right, brother. See you soon, my friend.
Have a good one,
All
Ray.
right, later.
Later. What a guy, man. Guys,
Yeah,
can
what a
follow him
guy.
on Instagram, follow him his TikTok. He really he really means business. And like I said, who I want to keep going collaborating with until the end of time is definitely Ray. Because like I said, he puts so much effort, dude. Like he puts so much at work, and like he's the kind of guy that I've always growing up. Like he's always the kind of guy that like when you're around him, he's such a good energy. He's so inspiring, and he's very just like always positive. And I know that like it's not an act. He really means like he's just a really genuine dude, and I love seeing that because I said Joel, like in this industry, it's very easy to kind of lose that kind of like humbleness and being that kind of kindness because it's very cutthroat. It's very cutthroat, and it's very I'm trying to look for not cynic, but it's very like just not as friendly sometimes. So definitely follow him on the socials because he just like I said, you watch him on Shotgun Wedding. The first few minutes he steals the movie. If you ask me, he steals the scene, steals the movie. And like I said, if you watch his episodes on 13 Reasons Why, you just show like how much of a range he has as an actor, and that was like some of his earlier work too. So give Ray a follow, give Ray some love, and give him a follow for sure. What a guy, man! What a guy, man!
Also, I'm gonna take this time to have you guys that are currently listening to us, whether you're on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple, podcasts, or Amazon Podcasts, wherever you might be on listening to us, please hit the follow button. Subscribe. It helps us, it helps this podcast grow and have other people be able to see us. Also for you guys to know and keep updated with us whenever we make a new episode. So hit the follow. It really does help us out, grow this podcast, because we do want to take this so much further than what it currently is. And we do, by the way, to the people who are following or the people that are continuously returning, thank you so much for the love. Thank you so much for listening. We truly appreciate you. And the new people, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and hope you guys stay. Yeah. Anyways, back to what we were going
to did my job for me, man. You said that perfectly. I was going to say the exact thing. Said perfect. You took my words right out of my mouth, my boy. Right out of my mouth, dude.
Yeah, I'm jealous of Ray. I'm gonna be honest. He gets to see you again. It's been a minute.
Know, dude.
It's been finally like a year by now, or more, right? It's been more than a year.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I started at Paramount September 2021, and I was there until June. And I
Hmm.
kind of mentioned this on the bonus episode a few weeks ago. I mentioned that yeah, I'd done projects for multiple different studios and companies, and I left. And then I remember like when I got the offer after to leave Paramount last June, I was kind of sad because me and Ray managed a lot of projects together at Paramount, and it was kind of sad that my time with him was ending. But even after I left Paramount last June, him and I were still in very good contact, and we were still like still talking all the time, asking for advice, what he's been up to, whatever. So I left Paramount for a couple months, did different projects at different studios and other companies, and then I came back to Paramount. I'm calling, oh, I'm coming to Paramount, and like he was so happy for me that coming back to like work with him on his team, and we've been doing a lot more projects together last month for some stuff at some high party stuff at Paramount, which is really cool. But yeah, man, I'm finally going to. I haven't been to LA since I almost moved there. Literally 2 years ago to the month. Actually, I think I was looking at apartments 2 years ago, man, and that's kind of crazy to believe that 2 years ago I was starting my first real job post college at that visual effects company, and then I said, you know what, the job wasn't for me, didn't work out. And I lost my security deposit, which kind of sucked. But I real I realized that that wasn't for me. And as people, for our listeners who don't know the story, I my first job out of college was visual effects company. It was just I was so excited because I was looking for work. Yeah, looking for so much work during the pandemic, and it was tough because during the pandemic, no one was hiring. It was very like slow hiring. Entertainment took a hit. Like everyone was working remotely, or there was not a lot of productions going on. We were kind of like looking for work, and getting graduated top of my class from ASU Film School. Great honors, everything. Took me almost a year to find another work because no one was hiring. That was the kind of shit thing about COVID. It was like no matter what, the entertainment took a big hit. I mean, everyone took a big hit, but entertainment was a really big, no one was hiring. It was very slow. And then got that job that wasn't that for me. It was not the best place to work, unfortunately. I won't name drop any place because I don't want to like hurt anyone's feelings, but it wasn't for me for sure.
I
But
don't got a problem. No, joking.
no, dude, it was oh my god. That was a month of just like I don't know what the hell I was doing. But the beauty of
Yeah.
that though was that the day my contract ended, and I met my girlfriend of 2 years, going on 2 years next in June. So you know what? I got my job was ended. The next day I met my girlfriend, and you know what? That was the silver lining that I didn't move to LA for a reason, and I believe that was her. She was the reason. So you know what? No matter what might happen, one door might end. Everybody, kind of like sliding doors. One door might end, another one opens up, and yeah, man. Again going to LA the first time in 2 years. I'm kind of nervous because I'm as I said multiple times in person. I'm not the biggest, and it's weird. Again, I was a film major. I want to work in entertainment. I'm not the biggest fan of Los Angeles. I was there for an internship for about for about 4 or 5 months, and it's just I was there. I met so many great people. I met so many amazing people in the industry, like with a lot of cool premieres and screenings. But to me, I have friends who moved to LA and are still there, still working. They're doing great. Moses is one of them, and a lot of people are still there trying to make a name for themselves, and I applaud them. But it's when I'm there, just I don't feel like myself, and my creativity kind of feels clouded and misguided, and it kind of sucks. That when I was there, I was just like I didn't feel like myself. So I'm going for a quick weekend trip, dude, and like I said, I'm looking forward to going for sure. But seeing Ray, finally seeing some of my homies at Paramount, seeing my boss at Paramount, seeing Isaiah, Michaela, and Moses, hopefully. But yeah, man, when I'm there, just maybe one day I'll be there. Well, maybe one day I'll be there when the right job comes the way. But for the time being, I had no interest because when I'm there, I
I
just don't feel
have
like
no
myself.
interest in living in Hollywood. I'll probably
Yeah,
like
man.
stay for a bit, but I won't live there. God
Nah,
no,
dude.
no.
I said, me. I was, my apartment caught on fire. I did. It was. I woke up one day like, oh my god. I woke up. No, woke up. I smelled smoke. All I heard was, oh my god. Open my blinds, building on fire. I said, yep. I'm going. And I'm like, you know what?
What would have
I'm.
made that better if that song was on? You know, the one the roof, the roof is on fire.
Oh, I would have cried laughing. Dude. That song came on. I'd be like, you know what? This is a perfect song for a perfect moment. And it was funny too. I remember going to my internship. I remember like everyone, dude, that shit made national news, man. My grandma, my nana called me, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Wow, news travels fast." Because I was like, "Wow, this is huge." And I remember like ASU called me, Health and Safety at ASU called me, my professor called me, the internship coordinator called me at ASU. And I remember going to my internship, and my ASU was very like on my back. They called my internship saying, "He's alive. Don't worry, he's alive." And I remember walking into work, and my boss Chanel was all like, "Oh my God, he's here!" Give me the biggest hug. This was before COVID too. Give me the biggest hug. She goes, "Thank God you're okay." And I'm like, "Yeah." And guess what? And I still came to work, and I still came to my unpaid internship. And they were like, I remember they were like,
Facts.
you can go home if you want. I'm like, I'm not going back to a building that's catching on fire. I'm like, I'm staying here. I'm staying my ass here at this office where there's like no fires, and they actually have fire extinguishers and like the
I feel
sprinklers, man. 'Cause it was fucking crazy. It was like a Twilight Zone episode almost.
I feel like such a bad friend, but luckily you know me so well that I don't watch the news. So while all these people are like, "Oh my God, you're okay," you're like, "Dude, did you see the news?" And I was like, "What news? Did something happen?" Like,
I sent you the article.
just,
I sent you the article, and you were like, "Holy shit!" I was like, "I live there."
I was like, "I'm
I was
glad
like,
you're okay." I just did.
dude,
I
that
just
was
did. No, I don't watch the news. I really don't.
no, that was a time, and like I said, that was definitely part of my trauma living in Los Angeles. Added to my trauma for sure. Added to
Anything
my
can happen in Hollywood, and you got
yeah,
the butt fuck end of the shit stick.
dude, and that was so weird too because I remember like that was right before it was my last semester of college. I was doing all my classes like online already, so it was before again right before COVID hit. I remember like that few months I was there, it was just like, yeah, COVID's happening, but it is what it is. And I remember like my parents visited me. They visited me in LA. My spring break, I was off. My parents came down with my brother Fletcher,
Didn't they buy you
and
groceries? Or am I thinking of someone else?
oh my God, dude, it
I
was
remember
so,
you told me you were like in tears because you were
oh,
struggling a
dude,
little bit.
they were just no, like, it was. I wanted to plan something great for them. I have connections to get screenings and going to game shows and talk shows, whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna plan everything out for them the week that they're here. And this is the week before COVID really shut everything down. So like, I planned a Conan taping night. We went to a taping of a really bad sitcom. We went to The Price is Right. We went to James Corden. We went to, and we had like more shows. We had like, I was with my mom to a premiere of a movie, of a TV show that was gonna come out that she wanted to see. So, she bought this, she brought this beautiful dress. Like, my first real premiere in LA. She was so excited. I felt so bad when they got a call from the people like, "Oh, canceling it because of COVID." I said, "Damn." Then we had Tosh Point Oh tickets that Friday and Wheel of Fortune tickets, and then those just went away. But yeah, man, they were there that week. And every show we went to, dude, remember? Every show we went to was closing down. This is the last show before COVID closes down for 2 weeks. Like every show we went to, we closed it down because of COVID. Like Conan's
Yeah,
last
COVID.
show, Conan's last show before COVID, The Price is Right before COVID, the taping of the bad sitcom we went to before COVID. Like every show we went to, COVID shut it down.
Yeah, you're not
It was
missing
great
much on
Twilight Zone.
Corden though. He's such a dick.
Oh, we saw his show, man. It was cool. It was cool. You know why? It was cool seeing his show because
Oh, okay.
Vin Diesel was there,
Ah,
and he walked down next to me. I'm like, we grew up watching Vin Diesel, so it was definitely cool. And also, who was? Oh my God, the girl that was co-star. It was that really bad movie that I saw. It was so bad. Oh my God. I
what
can't remember the
movie are
name
you
of the movie.
talking about? Are you talking about Fast and Furious?
No. This was 2020. This was before Fast 9 came out. It was. Oh my God, dude. I was so bad, and I was so hyped for it.
Is it that witch movie?
No. It wasn't that. It was Bloodsport. No.
Blood.
No.
Bloodshot.
Bloodshot.
I never watched it.
Bloodshot. Oh, dude, I remember I was hyped for this movie, and halfway through, I was like, "This was my last movie before COVID. What was I thinking?" I was like, "What was I
Was it
thinking?"
Isa Gonzalez?
Oh, gorgeous, bro. She's in Baby Driver, bro. She's beautiful. She's
Oh, yeah.
beautiful, and well, she was in that. I liked her a lot. She was really good in Baby Driver. That's when I first saw her. I just get
Ambulance, the
I
one
love her in
which I
Ambulance.
haven't seen yet. Godzilla vs Kong.
She was in that too.
Hobbs and Shaw.
She was in that too.
Remake
That's right.
From Dusk Till Dawn. Alita, she was in the original From Dusk Till Dawn.
Okay.
She's in
Yeah, she's
actually a
gorgeous.
lot. A
She's
movie that I need to see because it has one of my favorite actors in it, I think. Yeah, Last Looks.
yeah, dude. She really.
Movie I surprisingly haven't seen. Welcome to Marwen.
Well, dude, remember when that came out? We were so hyped for it, and like, yeah, like a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. We were like, oof. We were like, well, we won't spend our money on that. We'll watch it at home, I guess. And like, people
Dude,
just
it's
shat
still
on that movie.
34% on Rotten
Oh, it went
Tomatoes.
up. I'm
Amusing,
glad it went up. I'm glad it went up.
poignant, and tender. Yeah, very enjoyable. Different. I gotta see this myself because I really
Yeah, I want to see
saw
it
the
too.
trailers and it was interesting. 2018,
Yeah,
man, time fucking flies. Holy shit.
dude. I remember we were seeing that. We saw Overlord. It looked so good. I remember it came out. It got like a 0% on Tomatoes. I'm like, damn. And I'm glad it went up, not by much, but I was like, damn, 0%. I was like, oof. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? So before I want to get off topic here. I was sad about that, but I might get off topic here because I want to like put in just a small snippet of this because we've already talked about this. Fucking trailers.
I'm telling you, man.
They're getting worse.
I
There's several movies trailers that are like almost 3 minutes long. It's like 2 minutes and 50 seconds and 2 minutes and 20, like fucking 42 seconds. Like that's almost 3 minutes long. Holy shit. Like, dude, a new Flash trailer. Did we really need a new Flash trailer? That's 3 minutes
so
long? Did we need a Spider-Man, fucking the anime movie? With Miles Morales, a 3 minute long movie, like trailer? Like, come on, guys. Like, you're killing the movies because nothing's hidden in these trailers.
um well, yeah, well, I was gonna do a coverage on that later, maybe on a TikTok or like a bonus episode. Was that CinemaCon was this week? I definitely want to like the goal I have for the show was for you not to get invited to CinemaCon next year because that's for listeners. CinemaCon is when all the big studios bring theatrical only. I repeat, theatrical only. What's coming down the pipeline in next few months? The theater for all the big theater owners, the National Theater Organization, NATO are there, and every studio is kind of pitching like, "Oh, we have this coming out, theaters only, this coming out," and they bring all these huge stars. Like they had like Christopher Nolan was on yesterday, or maybe today. They had like Ryan Gosling was there for these two new movies he's making. Like so many cool actors, so many great filmmakers. Vin Diesel was there yesterday, I think today too. So it's CinemaCon is really like if you're like a movie nerd, and Comic Con's that too, but like if you're like a movie nerd, you see like all these kind of exclusive things first because like the studios are pitching what we have coming out for the theater owners, and especially because post COVID right now the theaters need to win. The theaters need to have a big win because last year we're still kind of recovering from the pandemic. This year we're still doing pretty well, but we're still down compared to like pre-pandemic numbers. So every year CinemaCon happens in Vegas, and they don't show trailers. They do, but they show like actual footage. And I don't know about you, Joe. I'd rather see actual footage, like a 5 minute clip, than a trailer. Because
Then a
I'm seeing a
trailer.
scene. I'm seeing a scene. I
Because
don't want to see a trailer.
here's the thing, here's the issue with trailers, right? Especially nowadays, is they want to show you points of interest.
Mhm.
Like even back in the day when trailers weren't even that long, slash only like two trailers, like they want to show you points of interest. The action, not just like, oh hey, what's up? How you been? No, I'm good. What I mean, I can understand that. The issue is that you can put a lot of those points of interest in a
Yeah.
short
Oh,
trailer,
for sure.
which is almost 3 minutes long, that is showing basically all points of interest. Everything that people want to go to movies to see, they're showing them. And that's killing the fucking movie because, especially their rating and how people view these movies, because it's just like, nothing is a surprise anymore. Nothing's a twist. There's no movie twist. It's not like, oh wow, like I didn't see that coming. Like, oh wow, I saw this whole movie in a 3 minute trailer.
Yeah, no, they're showing. I'd rather see a 5 minute clip of a one scene than see a 3 to 4 minute trailer of a whole sizzle reel. Because, like I said, it kind of shows too much, and that's I'd rather see a extended clip of like a certain sequence. Like I'm kind of jealous. They showed like a 20-minute chase scene apparently of Mission Impossible. Like I don't want to see that than a trailer.
Jesus Christ.
No, I want to see that than a trailer. I'm thinking 20. I'm thinking a 20-minute one scene. Sign me up. I want to see that than the whole ass trailer because I'm like, cool. I'm seeing one specific scene. How they're shooting this, and what was I gonna say too? I'm kind of jealous too. They showed the Flash already at CinemaCon for all the theater owners and people that attended. I heard it's fucking awesome, dude. I heard it's fucking awesome, and I cannot wait now. I heard like, back to the future
I've been
vibes.
avoiding the
Me
fucking
too.
trailers. Like
Me too, dude.
Oppenheimer, I haven't even seen.
Nope, same here. No, dude.
I saw the little teaser trailer and that was it.
Like,
I've
that's
been
it.
ignoring everything else, man.
Yeah,
I saw
dude.
the trailer for Elemental because I really don't mind that one because it's a cute movie. I'm
It's
gonna watch
it's a
it.
Pixar. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah. I'll
Pixar.
see it. I'll see it. I'll see it too. But yeah,
You
dude,
know
they're showing
me.
too much.
I'm that guy that will go alone to a kid's like animated movie.
Oh yeah, I probably do the same
Early
thing.
in the
like,
morning on a school day.
on a matinee.
Yeah, I want to be surrounded by little kids, and I want people to be like, yes.
I can't remember going to like the matinees in high school when we were like no money. We go to like the what five before like it was like $5 at AMC. Remember those days? But AMC's like $5 tickets, so you go before like noon. Remember when we had no school, you and I go to the movies for $5. Like no one
The
go to
days
matinee.
I ditched, the days I just didn't want to go to school, or that I ditched. My mom knew. Well, I wouldn't really call him ditching. If my mom was like, "Cool, yeah, you can say them." so, Mrs. Jones, if you're listening, it wasn't really ditching because my mom already knew it wasn't good. But I was actually a really good student. I hardly ever failed except for junior year, but that was not even my fault. Those were those teachers. Those teachers screwed me over because I did do my classwork and I did do my homework, and they just didn't put it into the program. And I didn't notice because I didn't get like the F's on my report card. I was getting like C's, B's, but they didn't. But I got F's around the end of the year, and then yeah. But anyways, no, I did do good in school. You can ask Doug. You hardly saw me my junior year.
That's why you were called what you were called, my friend. I won't say what you were called. That's why you called you a nickname.
We're not gonna start that shit with this show. I swear to God, I'll quit. I will protest.
Post.
You better shut your fucking mouth. Okay.
Don't worry. We won't bring up that one or your other movie or your other. I almost said it. I almost said the other nickname.
Oh my God.
Don't worry. I'll keep that to myself.
Oh no, you don't keep that to yourself. You're giving it from the show. You'll just tell everyone else in life who will put me in their fucking phone has them.
Don't worry. Okay, hey, I never changed your profile picture. It makes me happy. That was not me. I was the only person that never changed the profile picture to that actor. That was not me. I didn't go that far. I did not go to that far.
Your girl. I'm pretty sure your girl had me as a ghost for a while. Did she?
I still do.
Yeah, you still do. You blur this out. I accidentally said the name, but I'm pretty sure your girl had me in her phone like that for a bit. I don't remember. Yeah. Yeah, but blur that. Cut that. Like bleep that out. Bleep out the name because I don't want people to start calling me that shit. Anyways,
okay, wink, wink.
Back to what I'm saying. You better fucking bleep it because I don't want people to call me that name.
Man, I'm still learning how to edit.
God.
I'm still learning how to edit.
It's easy. You better go to motherfucking YouTube, son of a bitch, because you're about to lose another co-star.
This is a free podcast, my friend. Where's the sponsorship there? But yeah, dude.
Leave. But what was I saying? Yeah, our man is because we would go see one movie for like $5 and then go see another movie. We saw 3 movies in one day.
Double feature, man. The triple feature, dude. Yeah, dude. I miss those days, man.
We did that very few times. Because remember, we went early and we saw 3 movies and it was dark outside. We were like, damn.
That was the day before we had assigned seating, man. That was nice because no assigned seating. It was like you stadium style. So you walked in and there was no one like, oh, you're in my seat. And like, down the road, eventually it happened. But us in high school, we never. Our AMCs didn't have that until maybe last year before I moved out of Chicago. So it The triple feature, man, double feature. I mean, dude, I still had that in Arizona, man. Bro, I saw Aquaman and Into the Spider-Verse the same weekend, and they literally saw me, bro, walk across the hall to the theater. Didn't say shit. I'm like, we're good. They didn't. They didn't. Me
until
and two of
we
my friends and
until we
coworkers.
had that one fucking employee who took her job
Oh, she
way too fucking
really took
serious.
seriously. Yeah, dude.
Bruh, she would
She threw us
not.
out.
She would wait outside our movies too. She would
She would
wait
wait. She
outside
knew.
our
She
movies
knew.
too.
She
She wouldn't
knew.
do that for anybody else's movies. And other people snuck in, and we're like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean?
Oh man,
Like
she
one
took her
time,
job very
I
seriously,
re- I
dude.
remember I remember you're like, we'll just go downstairs and blah blah blah. And I waited in the movie theater. Remember that? I was like,
Oh
man, just
yeah.
wait her out. And because there's two things, right? And so y'all were leaving, and she eventually entered, and like I like dodged her and went to a movie. She found me. She found me. And I was
Yeah.
so mad. I was like, how the fuck does this bitch know? Like,
She was playing an actual game of hide and seek with.
bro, she fucking found. She literally went into movies to see if I was there. Like, and she
Yeah.
took her job way too seriously, and I'm gonna say it's racism. It wasn't really,
Dude,
but
she
it was ageism. I'll say that because there was other people that we went to movies with, like not our friends, but we saw, and then
my
they
high
went into
school.
another movie. You know, not even our high school, like older people. You know, just people that oh, we were in this one movie, or we saw them leave this movie with,
Oh
and then
yeah.
they just went across the fucking hall, or down the hallway to the other side of the movie theater and then enter a movie. Like, she didn't say anything to them, but she said shit to us constantly. And I was like, bro, fuck you. Remember when we found out she wasn't there no more? We were so fucking.
Oh, dude, no, dude, I remember. I think she left like right before I moved to Arizona, and man, that was yeah, dude. She knew, man. She was like, we can make a whole short film about her, like the movie theater employee, because she knew, man. She threw me out of Project X. She threw me out of I'm trying to think. She threw me out of That's My Boy. The third was I saw it again with you, but I saw it with Carlos at the time, and she threw us out. She goes, nice try, and I was like, all right, yeah, you got us. And she threw me out of Project X. That's My Boy. I think 22 Jump Street. I saw it again with someone else. I forgot who I saw it with. It wasn't you. But yeah, dude, she knew, man. She had her high alert on, man, because she knew. And she just knew. Or there was certain theaters. Certain theaters were harder to get caught in, luckily. But there was two
Mhm.
where she always saw you too. Where she always saw you. It was like two theaters those were her like two theaters that she knew where to go. And every time we're like, what theater we're in? Theater 4. Fuck. And like we knew, we're like, oh, we gotta like hide, we gotta hide from her. We
I
gotta,
remember, bro. There was this one. It was one of the real big like theaters, and luckily, like a lot of people were there that day, but we snuck in, because she was busy doing something else, and we snuck in, and we were like, we'll just hide in the back. Like we literally sat all the way in the back. Like we had to, but because
we
there were
like,
so many people, we had to like separate, But it was me and you. And I
yeah.
think like the few other guys were like with each other, or near each other, and like we're sitting there, and like TJ's like, I remember it was TJ who was just like, bro, I think we should just leave. We should just leave because she's like looking at her.
You got
Like she
too
came
paranoid.
all the way. She almost came all the way to the top. She came to where the
I know.
bars were, and me and you were
I
just
know.
laying back. We were like leaning back, trying to hide.
Dude.
You're like, bro, I want to hide my face. I was like, don't hide your face. Play cool, play cool.
Yeah,
Dark and a lot of people.
you always said play cool. You always said play cool. Like, play cool. Because she
Because
knew,
that's how
dude.
you got away with a lot of shit. Because if you're trying to hide, and so, but it's like, man, she came looking. I mean, she really came looking. And I was like,
She
bro,
knew, dude.
you sweep the floor. Why are you bothering with this? You're not
Bro,
gonna get a better job. You're not gonna become manager. Like you haven't been here that long. The fucking 16-year-old's a manager. Let them do it. If they don't care,
yeah, dude.
leave it be. God dang it.
It was kind of funny too, is that we went to so many early screenings that were rated R that when we were under 17 or didn't have IDs, never cared. Never cared.
No one ever
Like
cared. No one ever
no one
cared.
cared.
Except
All
for
the screens we went to.
except for the theater with the above the what was it? Not TG Maxx, the Macy's or whatever. You know, the clothing store that would go
Oh
downstairs and then
yeah,
there was a
that
movie
one.
theater up
Yeah,
top. There was that one time.
yeah,
There was that one time we were
yeah.
just having a hard time getting tickets.
Oh yeah.
But
It was that
he
one.
also was just like, it was also like you could buy another movie, and
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
since
remember that.
we don't have a lot of people up there, it'd be hard. It was, and it was who was it that was having such a hard time understand? It was TJ again, TJ. It
TJ and
was
Carlos. I
TJ,
think Carlos
TJ and
didn't. Carlos
Carlos.
too didn't know what to do. They
Carlos
were.
was just scared to do it, and TJ was not
He wanted to go home,
understanding the
bro. He
grasp
wanted to go home.
that we're like, TJ, just buy another movie ticket. He was like, no, we can't see this movie, blah blah blah. And then this dude was looking at him and looking at
We
us,
left. We left. We
but
left.
he was
We left.
telling us like, yeah, just buy another movie ticket and then go see the fucking. You know what I mean? To save his job, and TJ's like, "No, man, we can't. We're trying to tell TJ, just buy another fucking movie ticket. It's fine. Just go see this movie."
And we left. And we
And
left.
we laughed, and I
I remember we left. We left. It's funny. It was funny. We left, and then I remember it was you, me, TJ, and some other people. And I remember I think Carlos and Galliano left, and I remember we saw the movie eventually at another theater later in the day.
dude, but I was still upset because I remember after we left, I like walked like ahead by myself, which I
Yeah,
never
you were
do. I
like-
stay with the group. I was like, I'm gonna get fucking annoyed.
Yeah, dude. That was. Oh my god, dude. What a dude. Man, what a time that was, man. What a time, and now it's. Oh man, I kind of miss those days, but yeah, the triple
Yeah.
feature, double features, man. I'll never forget those. I know I was in college too, because I didn't care. I was like, I'm gonna see this movie again. Who cared? And no one stopped me. But now everywhere you go, it's all assigned seating, so it's like you can still try, but it's gonna be good luck because with assigned seating, it makes it a little bit harder. You want to like get in. And I know out here in Arizona that there's some theaters have people come in and like look around like with clipboards and everything. So like they see you before, they'll see you again. Because I know like they're checking to check. They're for sure like, no, we're gonna see you in the movie.
I'm hoping when I do go to the theaters back in Chicago. Oh, by the way, to everyone from Chicago that is currently listening, your boy is going to be moving back there very soon, sadly, for a short period of time. When I say short period of time, I'd say 2 years at max. But yeah, I'll be moving back to Chicago for a bit. So, and with that, it'll be easier for me to go see movies. And so you guys will probably see me on the TikTok and Instagram doing short review videos, which I'm not a fan of showing my face, but I want to help this shit expand. So, pre-screenings, if you guys are there and you guys listen, like, and you guys go to like pre-screenings, like, hey, say what's up. I would love to meet people who actually listen. Hey, what's up?
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I'm moving back to Chicago. So I'm hoping, when the day, if I can find like a movie partner, or someone to go with me and go see like 2 movies in one day, like, hopefully no one fucking cares.
You'll probably see that guy that you always saw, the guy with the ponytail who never showered. Remember him?
Dude, he got in front of us so
He cut in line so many times, dude.
fucking times. You know how
I know.
happy I was
I
to be in
remember.
front, and he's like, "Oh, hey, blah blah blah." No,
Dude, he cut in
Dude,
line so many times, dude. Oh my god.
it was so bad.
I remember
Anyways,
when you guys saw Sasha's party when I moved out to Arizona. You and TJ and Sebastian saw it, and when you guys like, dude, he's here. And he cut in line. I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, I wasn't in Chicago no more, and I was like, I'm still mad for you guys. I'm like, he still cut you guys.
bro,
It's
he
like,
still
Jesus.
cut. And then after you left, I actually surprisingly made like friends there.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
Like I would see people there and be like, "Oh hey," it's like, "Oh hey, what's up? Like, you want to get in line?" Yeah, be a friend of that dude. Fuck that dude. He stopped going eventually. I don't think I've seen him the last few
when you go
times
back,
I
you might
went.
see him. You might see him when you go.
We'll see. But yeah, no, I'm excited to go see movie previews and give my honest review of them. and hopefully with me and you reviewing, certain movies will invite us out to go see movies. You know what I'm saying? Flash. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
dude, I
saying?
cannot wait, man. I'm gonna try, dude. Like, I had one. Dude, oh no, dude, I had one. I'm so mad. I had one for tomorrow for Guardians 3, but I'm leaving for LA tomorrow, and I was like, no. I was like, it was an IMAX too, and I was like, damn, because it wasn't a press one. It was like an early fan one, and I was like, okay, we're still trying to get the press screening. And I was like, I'm going to the fan one. And I was like, what's the date on it? I was like, oh, I'm going to be gone to LA. So I was like, oh, I'm waiting for next week, whatever. But yeah, dude, the Flash is the one I really want to get. Flash. I'm trying to think. I know we'll do a summer preview next week for next episode, but yeah, dude, Flash is gonna be sick, dude. I can't wait. But yeah, man, do you want to do the one-on-ones, close out, my friend?
Shit, man, I haven't really watched anything recently. Oh, fuck. Shit.
I'll go first. Then I'll go first. But for our
Yeah.
listeners,
Oh, I can explain it
go ahead.
if you want.
By all means.
Okay.
By all means.
So, all our listeners who are new and deciding to listen to a later episode instead of the beginning, what are you doing here? Two, so let me explain what our one-on-ones are. Our one-on-ones is when me and Doug and whoever is usually here, or special guest, will say one movie and one TV show that we think has not gotten enough attention or is very underappreciated or underrated. And we hope that you guys will listen to us and at least put into the movie list, the never-ending, long-ass growing movie list that you have on whatever apps you do or even on your phone. And one day you will watch it and see why we love these shows and movies so much. Yeah, that's our one-on-ones. Take it away, Doug.
Yeah, so one-on-one, I watched some new stuff this week, nothing I can really rave about. So I was going through kind of like my catalog because I still buy movies and buy Blu-rays and 4Ks and DVDs. So I'm gonna go with a movie this week that means a lot to me. Actually, I remember watching it in college during my first semester during my winter break. I just love this movie so much, and it's like it's one of my favorite movies. If I'm feeling sad or I'm feeling down, I watch it. It makes me very happy. I'm going with a very, very underrated movie called She's Out of My League. It's a 2010 comedy. It is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. It has so much heart. It's raunchy, but has more heart to it. And it's with Jay Baruchel, Alice E., T.J. Miller, Kristen Ritter, a few other actors too. I'm blanking on their names. Anyway, it's about four guys, best friends, they work in TSA. They're losers. They're not going anywhere in their life. They're kind of just like normal, everyday guys. One day, Jay Baruchel sees this most beautiful girl walk through TSA. Like she's like gorgeous, but he's a very clumsy, kind of nerdy TSA agent. And this beautiful girl, she leaves her phone there at the TSA, and so he calls like, "Hey, I found your phone," and she goes, "Hey, I'll be back in Pittsburgh in a week. Like, come to my my fundraiser I'm doing for this art gallery. Just meet me there." And so he goes there with his best friend, one of his best friends. He brings the phone back, and like you can tell like there's very like flirtation between them, but again like this girl is stunning, like absolutely beautiful, and he's very kind of like a normal, not so good looking kind of guy, but for some reason she finds him very funny, very cute. So she invites him out to a hockey game with her friend and tells him to bring a friend along, but little does he know that he's actually on a double date. And he goes, "No way, this girl likes me." And all his friends are kind of like, "No way, man, she's out of your league. We love you, man, but she's out of your league. No way in hell is it gonna happen." And they start dating, and it's a really funny but really full of heart story about when you think someone's out of your league and you think like, oh, like it's all about kind of like self confidence and believing in yourself. Like you can't get the girl. Came out in 2010. It's very, very funny. It's so much heart. It's very charming. It's like an hour and a half quick movie. Came out in 2010. Again, Jay Baruchel's the lead. T.J. Miller, Alice Steve's in it. It's super, super, super funny. It's one of my favorite movies of all time because it's so underrated and it's very, very, very clever and very cute. So definitely check that out. And for my show, I'm trying to look back on shows I've seen in a while, or shows I haven't seen. Or I'm trying new shows I've seen most recently. I think I'm going to go with a show little HBO show called How to Make It in America. For our listeners, probably I mentioned the first few episodes. Entourage is one of my favorite shows of all time. I love that show so much. It's so funny. I watch it all the time. It still holds up. How many years later? It's really one of my favorite TV shows. But anyway, so the same producers of that show made the show called How to Make It in America, and unfortunately didn't have the same kind of luck as Entourage did. I think they have like 2 seasons, and they were canceled right after that. But these two guys who live in New York. One's white, one's Hispanic. They're best friends. They want to make it in the fashion world in New York. They're very entrepreneurs. They're hustlers, but no matter how hard they try, they just can't like seem to get a break at all. They're very kind of like cash poor. They're broke. They really have like no connection. So it's kind of like they're still they're like their late 20s, early 30s, trying to make it their own clothing brand. And no matter how hard they try, they just can't seem to catch a break. And it's very, very underrated. I remember watching in college. I'm like, I haven't even heard of this show, and I'm blanking on the actor's name, but one of my favorite artists of all time, Kid Cudi's in the show too, as one of the friends, and it's a very, very underrated show because again, it came out. People were like, it came out after Entourage, and they were like, this is an Entourage, even though the same producers, Mark Wahlberg produced Entourage and produced this show, so it wasn't given the fair chance it deserved. But it's a very, very clever, very funny show, really quick half-hour episodes. I believe it's on HBO Max because it's a very, very funny, very kind of relatable show. If you're someone in your late 20s, early 30s, trying to make something, again, today's topic of the show. It's about like, how to make it in America, how to make it, in your industry. And it's very, very funny, good acting. Again, wasn't given a fair chance if you ask me. So yeah, that's my show, How to Make It in America, which is on HBO Max. You, my friend.
Those are good. Yes. So I have my I'm gonna do my movie first, which is a old movie, 2005, I believe, with the amazing Ethan Hawke and I forget his name. I'm shit with names, so sorry guys. Lawrence Fishburne, John Leguizamo, a lot of other great actors in this as well, such as Maria Bello, Dre DiMatteo. It's called Assault on Precinct 13. You've seen this movie, have you?
Oh yeah, good movie.
A good movie. So what is so there is a bus with prisoners on it being transported, obviously, and then they get rerouted to a precinct in Detroit called Precinct 13 that's going to be shortly closed for good. But the the reason they were rerouted was because of a pretty bad winter storm that was hitting, so they had to get off the road. All the communication with the outside world is cut off, and and a group of armed men start attacking the precinct, and the cops inside have to start working with the criminals to try to survive and everything. It's a really good movie, super enjoyable if you like action, thriller, drama, something like that, especially with such amazing actors. That is definitely one of them. One of the great movies. Very big classic of mine that I love to go and see. From time to time. My show is American Gods. Have you seen the show yet? Oh man.
I remember watching it in college actually, because I remember you told me about the show, and I really like the writer of the show. Oh my, what is it? American, I have it right here. Give me one sec. His name, God, Michael Green. Michael Green was one of the showrunners, and he wrote most of the shows. And Michael Green wrote two of my favorite movies of 2017. He wrote Logan, and he wrote Blade Runner 2049. And I was like, who is this guy, man? He wrote some like two of my favorite movies. Really good. He's a great writer.
So American Gods is 2 seasons. It's based off of a book called American Gods. Go figure. And so it follows a man who just gets out of prison and, finds out that his wife has passed. His name is Shadow Moon, and he is hired by a very strange older man to be his bodyguard. That man, his name is Mr. Wednesday. and has more things go on and on. He's meeting new people, interesting things, and Mr. Wednesday has him driving all over the country. And just as time goes on, you're just like, who is this guy and what's happening? And you know, like very confusing. And he's having dreams and visions, and it's like, what the fuck? So basically, what it is Mr. Wednesday. I don't want to spoil who he is. You're probably gonna guess it if you watch the show. He is a old god from one of the old mythologies, um, and he is trying to recruit other old gods to wage war on the new gods who are currently ruling the world and having everything under their control, so they can get their powers back and do what they used to do as gods instead of but you also get to see the struggles that they have with how the new world works and no one worshiping them, and there's no one belief within it. The way that they show it is, if anyone has ever believed in any type of God, they exist. So there's Mexican Jesus, Black Jesus, White Jesus, uh, you know, um, native gods, Nordic gods, Greek gods, stuff like that. It's really, there's just any of those gods. It really shows really well, and it's just like a big twist. And it's a very mature show. So the book is good. I borrowed it for a short bit from an ex-coworker, and I really love the book. Really great writing. The show is a slow burn type of show, so give it time, but it's a really good show. Definitely check it out. The first season is on Stars. I don't know why season 2 isn't on there. But you guys can probably find it somewhere else, or just, wherever you can. But American Gods first season's on Stars, and I don't know what happened with the second season, but they do have a second season, and you should definitely go check it out.
Yeah, I gotta finish it, man. I remember liking that show a lot because I remember I was watching it after I watched Blade Runner because of the writer. I'm like, oh, dude, this is sick. And dude, Ian McShane's. I love Ian McShane, dude. Such a good actor. Really good actor. Really good production value too on that show. Like you can tell a lot of shows have like bad production values, but that's really
they
good
have
production.
3 seasons. They did a 3rd season. Oh, damn, dude, I really fell behind. Oh yeah, also
like
Orlando Jones, my favorite character in this whole entire fucking show. Not gonna lie, because what's his character's name? Mr. Nancy. It's an African god, which is really cool. And like they talk about racism, and like his character is so in depth, but the way he portrays him, the accent and the way he portrays him, like, dude, it's such a powerful like character to do, and I really love that character, and he kills it. Like his performance in the show, you're never just thinking like, oh, he's being too much or too little. Like like a lot of people, like if you don't know, but to me, his character is just like perfect. He brings that intensity to a scene that can just be normal talking. You know what I mean? Like he brings it. He makes you feel his anger, the his mischievousness. Has he got like I love it. He exudes it, and he does it so fucking well. He kills it. I love it.
I need to go back to that show, man, because now you got me intrigued again, my boy. Oh man, dude, it was good writing that show too. I love a show with good writing because I'm a sucker for that. But yeah, guys, that is those are our one-on-ones of the week. As always, again, as Joel mentioned earlier in the show, you can find the show on Instagram at Midway Avenue Productions. Also on TikTok at also at Midway Avenue Productions. Like I said, hit that follow button. It helps the show out tremendously. Leave a review, leave a rating. Also helps the show out tremendously. Every little bit helps a lot. And again, we're trying to grow this show out a lot more. We want more, trying to get more sponsors. We're trying to get a sponsor, actually, trying to like network more of the show, trying to like network with you guys. So again, make sure to share the word about us. Again, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and also on Google Podcasts. So again, hope you enjoy the show. Joe, where can they find you before we close out?
Well, if you follow Midway Production on Instagram, there with my Instagram, which I haven't uploaded any videos yet to, but the Instagram is the OG Cuban Rican. That is for my video gaming. Eventually, I will be posting clips there about my video game adventures with my homies or solo. And then you can also find me on twitch.tv/ the OG Cuban Rican, and help that grow. Again, if you feel lazy, not looking that up, I don't want to say lazy, unmotivated to search up my Twitch name. It is in the link tree. You can find both pages there. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing too. RIP Chicago legend, guys. RIP Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer. Oh my God. Yes. Always there for us whenever we're sick.
You know what's funny? First off, before we close out two things. My first show I ever worked on when I was at Paramount was Judge Jerry.
I forgot.
I was like, wow, my first show I was assigned to at Paramount was Judge Jerry. And I said, you know what? This sounds about right. And I was like, you know what? Good for Jerry becoming a judge. And I remember, I think the story in high school. It was my freshman year of high school in drama class, and there was a fight that broke out, and all you heard was Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. And I said, man, that is some Chicago shit right there. When a fight breaks out in a school, and all you hear is Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. You know you go to school in Chicago.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I'm gonna say. That's how you know. Jerry, Jerry. I remember I was I watching the Love Is Blind reunion with Zeta last week, and like when people were like kind of exposing each other, all I wanted to hear was Jerry, Jerry. I was hoping wrong. I know it's the wrong show, but I was like, you know what? I'm hoping someone my humor would have been like Jerry, the only guy in the audience going Jerry, Jerry. But yeah, man, R.I.P. Chicago legend, man. R.I.P. The GOAT.
Yeah, facts.
All right, guys. Well, hope you enjoyed listening to this episode. Thank you, Ray, for hopping on the show again. We love having you on. You are always welcome here. Make sure to follow everyone on social media. And until then, guys, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, see you guys next time. Deuces. Love y'all.